It's amazing how much damage just simple water and time and Mother Nature can do.
Don't step backwards when you're taking a shot, because you could easily be, stepping backwards into a 30-foot drop.
All the wood that's still here that isn't burned or rotten or destroyed, it's really quite impressive.
You can see the influence from the post-Euro industrial era. All right, so here we are in the heart of America's coal country, in the middle of this abandoned distillery. What I know of the area, there were two prominent businessmen back in the late 1800s named Frick and Overholt. What is it that Overholt did?
He accidentally discovered coke. He was cleaning out an oven one day, a coal burning oven. This is the kind of coke he used to make steel. And he was scraping out this residue, which was coke. Charles Frick realized how important this could be in producing steel. So he started buying up all the land around here, which had a lot of coal in it, and they used that coal to produce more coke.
What does that have to do with a distillery?
Money and people. And once you get the money and the people need the whiskey, and the distillery is built. What
happened to it during Prohibition?
They kept producing during Prohibition. They just did on the down low and kept all the speakeasies in business.
I think it's pretty fair to say that the mob had a piece in that action.
Yeah, I guarantee you
that.
From what we hear, there's some interesting artifacts upstairs, but there doesn't look like there's much of a staircase there.
We don't need much.
All right.
Let's go.
We're set up a bit of a daisy chain to pass the gear up. Since we've got some dangerous stairs to go over, we don't necessarily want to tip over with a heavy backpack on us.
Matt, you want to pass your gear?
Yep.
It's amazing how much damage just simple water and time and Mother Nature can do. I mean, this place is completely exposed to the elements and has been for decades. And all it takes is a little bit of water to get in, and the concrete starts cracking, the metal floors start rusting. It's not exactly the safest place to be, even though these are thick concrete floors. All of them are completely cracked, and who knows how much load-bearing weight they can still stand. There's an explorer in Chicago, Richard Nickel, who said that great architecture has really only two natural enemies: water and stupid men. And well, today we've got both in this building.
What do you think of this place? Isn't it awesome?
It's pretty cool, actually. I didn't expect it to be what it is. All the wood that's still here that isn't burned or rotten or destroyed is really quite phenomenal. It's not the way it normally is. And the fact that you've got everything here where you can see where something would have come from the water, could have gone into the hoppers, down to the next, been measured, dropped into the kilns, turned into mash, distilled into whiskey. You can see how the whole thing would have worked, which is really quite impressive. Drop things into the hoppers, which would then, obviously, these would connect further down.
So those weren't fermentation tanks then. They were for malting.
Malting.
Yeah.
Malting.
So
Beer.
which means this is the malt building.
Okay, hold on guys, none of this makes sense. How would they even get the horses up here to pull these levers?
You know, one of the coolest things I've found in here so far is this. And sometimes you don't really know what, you know, the piece of metal or the wood or the machinery was used for. But this, I don't know what it's for. I'm not really concerned with what it's for. I love the shape of it from a photographic point of view because it's almost human-like. You can see a head, shoulders, body, arms, legs. So I concentrated on shooting form of it. We know it's machinery. We know it's in an industrial spot, but it brings a human element into the interpretation of the element here.
And I still can't believe the condition the wood is still in after all these years. In places like this, you have a tendency to walk around with your eyes up. You're looking for things that might fall on your head. You're looking at, you know, rusty metal that you want to bang your head on. But you do have to remember to look down. You don't want to fall in a hole like this, for instance, because, well, that would just maim you.
You know, you'll find open holes pretty much anywhere, so you've always got to watch your step. You know, don't step backwards when you're taking a shot, because you could easily be, you know, stepping backwards into a 30-foot drop. There's giant vats in here that if you were alone and fell into, you just simply wouldn't get out of.
At one time, this would have been a really nice place to be. I mean, you've got the beautiful forest, you've got the river right here, and even here is the remains of a marine leg, where I would assume that at some point barges would have come to deliver the grain, and from here they would have run up a chute up into the top and then into these giant bins that take up most of this floor.
I thought this place was pretty good.
Beautiful colors, beautiful building, beautiful scenery. We have to figure out how the building worked. There's plenty of stuff left behind. This is a beautiful spot.
And how often do you get to go to a mob distillery?
I'll drink to that.